Hello, dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. I welcome you all on the behalf of Sri Jayendra Classes Rank Zone, a good visionary, good thought, and with good execution, we will be having a great lecture series here. Dear students, we will be dealing here with the first part in this, and we will be dealing with a class 11 chapter of diversity, that is biological classification. Dear students, I want to mention you that in previous classes in a chapter living world, we have already studied that how we can define a living organism by studying the different properties. Then how we can classify organism, because you know that, dear students, in lifespan of one individual it will be too difficult to study all organism. So there is a need to categorize organisms, several organisms, like we have studied that there are 1.7 to 1.8 million species have been discovered and classified. And if you need to study that organism, it will be difficult to study each and every organism or species one by one. So groupism is necessary, classification is necessary. So we have already studied that what are the rules, regulations of classification. But in this chapter, we will be taking care of that groups, certain organism which belongs to that group, and what are the criteria behind that we are going to study. So dear students, I request you all focus here. I will make sure that we will cover each and every term, each and every line, each and every topic of this particular chapter in a very beautiful way, in a detailed manner. So dear students, in introductory part of this chapter, first we are going to deal with a classification systems, and the classification systems which frame the different kingdoms. So dear students, it is known that in the history of this classification systems, Aristotle was the first. Aristotle was the first. And if we talk about Aristotle, you can see here, students, that you know that Aristotle has a great contribution in the history of biology. And he was the scientist who made or earlier taken earliest attempt based on the scientific basis of classification. So one direct question you get from this statement is that who taken earliest scientific basis of classification? So he is Aristotle. So dear students, now we have to take care of what Aristotle did. So in that, if we talk about Aristotle, Aristotle classified a living organism into different groups. You know that there are several type of living organism nowadays. Like there are bacteria, there are viruses, there are fungus, there are proteins, there are animals that are particularly different, higher animals, lower animals, higher plants, lower plants. So many organisms, so many living organisms are there. But to study each and every, it is a difficult task. So what Aristotle did? Aristotle, based on the particularly this simple morphological characters, used simple morphological character for classification. So you can get one more question from this, that what is the basis of Aristotle classification? So it is a morphological character. And by using that morphological character, what Aristotle did? So Aristotle divided plants into two groups, mainly three groups, that is trees, shrubs, and herbs. Dear students, they divided a plant as well as animals. Now we are studying a particular division of plants, then we will study a division which is done by the Aristotle for the animals. Dear student, here you can see that particularly the trees are there. Okay, there are plants classified into trees, shrubs, and herbs. Okay. And when he divided trees, shrub and herbs, it is based on actually morphological character. The longest, particularly long heighted plants kept in the trees, then some small, medium sized plants have been kept in shrubs, and some of the smallest trees, some of the smallest plants have been kept in herbs. You know that herbs have several medicinal properties. So he did simple thing in the initial days. And same way, he classified animals as well. And Aristotle classified animals into the two groups. That is, one group of animals which has a blood, that is red blood, and another one that is a particular group that do not have a red blood, or animals without red blood. Dear students, Aristotle particularly first taken animals with red blood, or we can say with RBC. And this group is known as enema. The first category he created, that is enema. And similarly with the animals without red blood or RBC are known as enema. Dear students, A for absence means absence of red blood or absence of RBC is known as, particularly we can say, absence of RBC is known as enema, and presence of RBC or presence of red blood is known as enema. Now in enema he included animals, that is mammals, lizards, birds and fishes. And similarly he kept in enema insects and jellyfish. So it is the earliest classification. So what you can get, what is the basis of classification of animals by Aristotle, then you should know that is the presence or absence of RBC or red blood and enema and enema. And plants, as we have studied earlier, that is divided into trees, herb and shrub. So this initial thing was done by Aristotle. But there were so many contemporaries, scientists who are doing the work, and this has so many loopholes, so many disadvantages or so many limitations. So there was a need of certain advanced classification system. So later on, one great scientist whose name is Linnaeus, and Linnaeus given two kingdom system of classification. Dear student, two kingdom system of classification given by him. In this two kingdom classification system, what he did, he included both plant and animals into different groups. And he classified organism into plants and animals. And it was easily done by scientists. So means here it is, you have to note that here he created two particularly, we can say a kingdom, that is kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. This two kingdom was created by Linnaeus, so it is known as two kingdom system of classification. And in two kingdom of system of classification, in kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, you can see here, dear students, that particularly the character which they have taken into consideration, that is a cell wall. Okay, and in cell wall, see here two kingdom was created. One is Plantae, one is Animalia. Now he takes this many characteristics, and in this characteristic, first character that was taken, that was a cell wall, and they have find that cell wall is present in kingdom Plantae and absent in Animalia. So the second character which was taken, dear students, that was locomotion. Dear students, locomotion, the ability to move, is absent in case of plants and present in case of animals, that you know very well. So that was taken as a second criteria. In third criteria, they have taken nutrition. Now at that time, there was no autotropism, heterotropism. So they have classified simply that they do not eat or they eat. Those organisms which eat kept in Animalia, those organisms which do not eat that kept in kingdom Plantae. But later on, particularly another character was taken that was a response to external stimuli, means that is a what a consciousness we can say, and that was absent except some lower plants in case of Plantae, but it is present in case of Animalia. You know that animals are very well conscious for the environment in which they found. And here the last character which is taken, that is a contractile system, and in contractile system except diatoms, Chlamydomonas, Euglonoids, all particularly this organism was not kept, otherwise contractile system was absent in Plantae and present in Animalia. Okay, so this was the basis. Now dear student, you have to take care that the question you will find from this particular part, that which is the main criteria for the two kingdom system of classification, and you should remember that this is the important question. It was already asked in NEET, so it is a particularly important one. Next, the organism which are placed in kingdom Plantae, which organism is placed, sometimes you can get question. So be remember, they have kept algae, they have kept, sorry, they kept bryophytes, they kept pteridophytes, then gymno, angio, bacteria, all these organisms are kept in this group. Okay, fungi are also kept in kingdom Plantae, but in Animalia they have placed only certain organism according to the lineage, that is vertebrates, invertebrates, and protozoans. So this organism are kept in kingdom Animalia according to the two kingdom system of classification. So you will get a question from this, that is which is the main basis. So very dear students, please remember cell wall is the main criteria. Now in this two kingdom, you know that two kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia were created. Two kingdom of classification was used till very recently. But after this classification, after using this basis, so many scientists question this classification, and certain disadvantages, certain limitations were developed or arised in the lineage classification. And when we talk about this limitation, it was came to know that lineage system did not distinguish between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Dear students, Linnaeus was not able to differentiate between eukaryotes and prokaryotes because, as you know, in previous slide we have dealt that algae as well as fungus as well as bacteria are placed in which one? Kingdom Plantae. Now bacteria are prokaryotes. Algae, bryophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, and fungi are are eukaryotes. Then also both prokaryote and eukaryote are placed in same kingdom Plantae. So means he was not able to distinguish them better. Second, he was also not able to particularly distinguish between the unicellular and multicellular organism. Okay, He was not able to distinguish, because you know that bacteria are unicellular, some algae are unicellular, that all are kept, and protozoans are unicellular, that are kept in animalia, and algae and fungi are placed, bacteria are placed in particularly we can say plantae. So he was not able to differentiate between unicellular and multicellular organism. Same way he was not able to distinguish organism based on photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic way, because fungi is heterotrophic, algae is autotrophic, plants are autotrophic placed in kingdom Plantae. How is that possible? Same way, all particular heterotrophic were placed in the kingdom Animalia, but in kingdom Plantae the distribution was not that much clear. So there was a particular problem in this classification. Okay, so we are going to talk further in this part. So two kingdom classification included plants, in plants which was included bacteria, algae, just we have discussed, fungi, then bryophytes, then we can say pteridophytes, then gymnosperms, then angiosperms. These all are included in kingdom Plantae. And the character that unified the whole kingdom was the presence of cell wall. So I've already told the question you can get, that which is the main basis for the two kingdom system of classification. So it is the presence or absence of cell wall. Next to that, this organism was grouped according to the two kingdom, according to the lineage. And here the one more limitation you can say, that organisms are grouped under one category even though they have widely different characters. And Linnaeus placed prokaryotic bacteria, blue-green algae, and other group under a eukaryote. You know, so see one of the interesting thing, you can see what is the interesting blunder was done by Linnaeus. Prokaryotic bacteria are obviously prokaryotic, and prokaryotes are placed in the kingdom Plantae, which is a eukaryotic. You can see this is the diagram of prokaryotic bacteria. Blue-green algae also there. Okay, so T2 kingdom system included unicellular and multicellular organisms under group. Under one group, you can see Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra were placed together under algae. And this is the Chlamydomonas, this is the Spirogyra, dear students. So these are placed in particularly one. So unicellular and multicellular was not differentiated properly by the Linnaeus. So another thing we already studied, not a distinguish between heterotrophic and autotrophic green plants. This is the fungi. Dear students, you know that how this is growing beautifully, but it is can be a dangerous to us as well. And we will study that fungi are heterotrophic organism and green plants are autotrophic. Then also they are placed in one group. See, one of the interesting things you should remember that the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin, while in green plants it is made up of cellulosic cell wall. So in cell wall also there was a differences, then also they are placed in one group, but it is not considered as a major criteria or major limitation point. This is the cellulose diagram. This is the chitin diagram. You will study the structural detail in the chapter biomolecule in zoology. Okay, this is the cellulose. So considering the all reasons, we can say that two kingdom system was not that much adequate for classifying organisms. So there was a need of certain other classification systems. So classification systems of living organisms have undergone several changes. So over time, several changes occurring in this two kingdom, and new classification system has developed. And here you can see that after the two kingdom system, several scientists felt that what certain characters have not taken into consideration, like cell structure, then it was not taken into consideration. Nature of cell wall was also not taken into consideration. Then mode of nutrition was particularly taken, but it is not in a detailed study or autotrophic or heterotrophic way. Then habitat was not taken. Then methods of reproduction was not studied. Okay, evolutionary relationship was not taken. Okay, so this many particularly characteristic was not taken in the classification of two kingdoms, so they have undergone several changes over a period of time. So I hope you understood the two kingdom classification. What question can be asked? The main basis, limitation can be asked, and the organism which are placed in that group. Now, after two kingdom changes occurred and three kingdom classification system arose. Dear student, three kingdom classification system was given in 1866 by which German zoologist Haeckel. Actually, the name of scientist is Ernst Haeckel. Full name is Ernst Haeckel. Okay. And Ernst Haeckel did this classification. What he suggested that there is a need of third kingdom. Means earlier two kingdom was that, but he introduced a third kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. And he told that we can separate all unicellular organism into this kingdom. Means what is the aim, what is the goal of Ernst Haeckel is to separate all unicellular organism. So he created new kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. And in this new kingdom, he placed all unicellular organism, and in that mostly aquatic eukaryotes, and in this they have placed fungus, they have placed protozoans. Protozoans was taken from Animalia in according to kingdom, fungi from Plantae, algae from Plantae, bacteria from Plantae, and slime mold from the particularly Plantae were kept in the particularly new kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. And three new kingdom was raised according to the three kingdoms classification, that is Plantae, Protista, and Animalia. So dear students, if somebody asks what is the basis for this particularly classification system, so we can say basis is absence of tissue system. And presence of unicellularity is the particularly a basis of this particular classification system. And this is the important question that you should remember, dear student. Okay. My writing the 3-star means it is an important statement. After three kingdom, some scientists thought that here also some limitation are there because bacteria are placed in kingdom Protista, and kingdom Protista is a kingdom of eukaryotes. So how is that possible? This is the limitation. This is the thing. So there was a need of new classification system, dear students, and four kingdom classification were raised. Which kingdom classification? Four kingdom classification was raised. Now in four kingdom classification, if we talk, dear student, here in this four kingdom classification, Copeland was the scientist who particularly given this particular four kingdom classification system in 1956. In which year? 1956. Earlier three kingdom was there. Which one? Protista, Plantae, Animalia. One a new kingdom was introduced here, that is kingdom Monera. Which kingdom, dear students? Fourth kingdom which was introduced by Copeland, that is a Monera. Copeland originally used term kingdom Mycota. Which term he was used? Kingdom Mycota for the Monera. Okay, but later on Monera term was given by two scientists, Dougherty and Allen. Okay, Dougherty and Allen was particularly kept this one. So dear students, according to the four kingdom classification, kingdom Monera include or prokaryotic organism. And if we talk about prokaryotic organism include eubacteria. Okay, that is include a cyanobacteria, that is a blue-green algae we will study, and another one the archaebacteria that was placed in the kingdom Monera. But One more thing that you should remember, that actinomycetes, which actinomycetes filamentous bacteria, we will be studying this one in classification, that are also included in this kingdom. So the fourth kingdom included kingdom, particularly we can say that is kingdom Monera, and four kingdom was introduced now there was present, that is the kingdom Monera, kingdom in particular Protista, Plantae and Animalia. But here there was some flaws because fungi was still present in Protista. And fungi was still present in Protista, but fungi are totally eukaryotic but heterotrophic. So there was certain particularly thought process behind that. And later on, after 1956, in 1969, the great scientist of that era, R.H. Whitaker, proposed the most accepted system of classification, that is five kingdom classification. Dear student, we remember this was a five kingdom system of classification, and five kingdom system of classification was most accepted of that era. Okay, so who proposed it? R.H. Whitaker. In which year? 1969. And here again there was a kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, but new kingdom was introduced by R.H. Whitaker, and that is kingdom Fungi. So five kingdom classification include five kingdoms, that is kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. You can see this is the Monerans. You having a shape of bacteria. Monera includes which one? Particularly bacteria are included in this group. And bacteria are included in Monera, and Monera is also known as Mycota. Then Protistans, unicellular eukaryote was there. Heterotrophic fungus was there. Plantae and Animalia, this five kingdom was introduced. And you can see this is the particular Protistans. This is the fungus. These are the Plantae, and this is the particularly Animalia. So dear students, this five kingdom was introduced. So which kingdom was introduced by R.H. Whitaker? That is kingdom Fungi. Now we will be dealing with the several characteristics which was taken into consideration during the classification. And when we study that characters, we will be comparing among all five kingdoms. And the five kingdoms are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. We will be considering all characters and discussing among all kingdoms. See, when we talk about cell type, monerans are the prokaryotes. Monerans include bacteria. Bacteria are prokaryotes. So cell type is which one? Prokaryotic. So first criteria was cell type. But other all kingdom are eukaryotic. And you know that, I hope you know the somewhat thing. In prokaryotes, there is an absence of well-defined nucleus, and in eukaryote, there is a presence of well-defined nucleus. But in prokaryotic cell, membrane-bound organelles are absent, like mitochondria, chloroplast, all organelles are absent. But in eukaryotic, these membrane-bound organelles are absent. Based on this, the cell type was considered as the first character. The second character which was taken, that was cell wall. And in cell wall, they have taken that or considered that monerans or bacteria have a non-cellulosic cell wall, and that non-cellulosic cell wall is there because the cell wall is made up of polysaccharide and amino acid. And this polysaccharide and amino acid combinedly known as peptidoglycan. So we remember moneran bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, which is the conjugate of carbohydrate and amino acid, that is polysaccharide and amino acid. Then, if we talk about Protista, cell wall is present in some particularly we can say there is a presence of particularly cell wall. But if we talk about fungus, cell wall is present but without cellulose because fungus have a chitinous cell wall. Which cell wall? Chitinous cell wall. Chitin cell wall is made up of chitin. Then In Plantae, cell wall is present, but it is obvious cellulosic, and it is absent in Animalia. So now the question, what then they ask, in which kingdom non-cellulosic cell wall is found? So you should remember that monerans, okay, and fungus mainly, okay, but in cellulosic cell wall is present in Plantae and some members of the Protista, okay, and absent in case of the Animalia. That was second character. Then third character which they have taken, that is nuclear membrane, and that is again describing a cell type. So it is absent in case of Monera, as I said, they are prokaryotic, and present in case of all eukaryotic kingdoms, that is a Protista, fungi, plant, and animalia. After that, body organization they have taken as a character for the classification, and in body organization they have taken that in monerans, that is a particularly cellular body organization, that because bacteria are made up of single cell. Then, dear student, Protista also include unicellular eukaryote, so they have also cellular organization. Then, if we talk about fungus, in fungus particularly we can say they have a multicellular and a loose tissue. See, they can have this particular fungus can be unicellular, can be filamentous, okay, can be multicellular. So they are multicellular, and but they have a loose tissue. Proper tissue are not formed in the particularly fungus. And plants may have a tissue and organ. Okay, plants have a tissue and organ. Like tissue, you know that parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and organ like fruit, like stem, like leaf, like flower, that all are present in kingdom Plantae. But when we compare with the kingdom Animalia, they have a tissue, they have an organ, they have an organ system. Dear students, as you know that we are the human beings, we are the animals, we belong to Animalia. We have a different tissues in the different organ, and these tissues combine to form an organ. And we have several digestive system. We have several organ system like digestive system. We have a excretory system, reproductive system. All these systems are present. So this is the body organization which was taken into consideration. Then further if we continue, you will find one more character that we are going to take here, and comparing among the five kingdom, okay, and that character is mode of nutrition. Dear students, monerans, if you talk about the mode of nutrition, you can see that they are autotrophic and heterotrophic. And in autotrophic also, they have chemosynthetic and photosynthetic mode of nutrition. Dear students, we will be dealing Monera in detail in the further classes, and in that we will discuss that how Monera carry out the certain activities of nutrition and how they differentiate from others, that we are going to discuss that. They are all heterotrophic as well because they have a saprophytic, parasitic, particularly mode of nutrition. Apart from that, when we talk about Protista, in Protista you can see that Protistans particularly we can say that Protistans are the particularly autotrophic, and in autotrophic they are photosynthetic and they are heterotrophic. Now you have to remember this is the similar to the Monera, but not exactly, because in Protista, in autotrophic, if we take chemosynthesis cannot be performed by chemosynthesis is absent in case of this particularly Protistans. Okay, so now that we have to take care. Next to that we have fungi, and fungi are heterotrophic. They cannot carry out synthesize their own food, because autotrophs can synthesize their own food, heterotroph cannot synthesize. So they are totally heterotrophic, they cannot synthesize their own food. Apart from that, we have a kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Plantae are autotrophic. They can perform photosynthesis, they cannot be heterotrophic. Whereas in kingdom Animalia, like us, they are heterotrophic. They are holozoic, means they can ingest for, see, dear students, understand here. What do you mean by heterotrophic? They cannot synthesize their food, so they are dependent on the other organism for the food. And in that, holozoic means ingestive. If we ingest the food through the mouth, it goes to the gut and get digested, then it is a holozoic mode of nutrition. And saprophytic means they particularly decomposition. Bacteria are saprophytes. So same way, some animals can be a saprophytic. So these are the different mode of nutrition in case of the different kingdoms given by R.H. Whittaker. So now, after studying this many characteristic, someone can ask a question that which is the main basis of criteria for this five kingdom classification. So dear student, we remember that main basis of classification for the five kingdom classification is mode of nutrition. Which one? Mode of nutrition. And this is the most important question that you get. Okay, so dear students, you should focus on this particular character, and in that also you should remember this point also, that chemosynthesis is not found or chemoautotropic protists are not found. Okay, apart from that, by studying this five classification, okay, by studying this classification, we can see that all prokaryotic organisms were grouped together under kingdom Monera. Yes or no? Kingdom Monera includes bacteria only, so it includes prokaryote only. Then unicellular eukaryotic organisms were placed in the kingdom Protista. Unicellular organisms were placed in the kingdom Protista. Okay. Then, so this is the kingdom diagram of kingdom Protistans. You can see this type of Protistans can be found. We will be studying this in kingdom Protista in detail. You can see here in diagram that there is some paramecium is like this. Okay, there is some particularly other protists are found here. Then one of the best thing you should remember, this is given in NCERT on the second page, dear students, second or third page, and is the most important question that you need to remember, that according to five kingdom classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella are placed in. So you have to remember that Chlamydomonas and Chlorella, as you can see in this diagram, this are placed in plant kingdom. Okay, according to two kingdom classification system. But dear student, they are kept in kingdom Protista in five kingdom. So this was earlier Paramecium amoeba were placed in animal kingdom. Earlier Chlamydomonas and Chlorella are placed in plant kingdom. But and fungi were in separate kingdom. But dear student, I want to make you that you have to remember this NCERT statement, and you have to focus that, and you remember that Chlorella, Chlamydomonas, and this Paramecium and amoeba all are placed in kingdom Protista. You should remember this. They are placed in kingdom Protista according to five kingdom classification, or according to R.H. Whittaker. Dear student, you have to remember this. This is an important question which you can get this. So after five kingdom classification system, it was almost a most justified classification at that time. But one more scientist who was not happy with the R.H. Whittaker, I think so, who thought that we have to do something different, and he given a six kingdom classification system. Dear student, in six kingdom classification, you remember that it is given by Carl Woese, and in six kingdom, what he did, he divided Monera into two kingdom, that is kingdom Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. This two kingdom was created from the kingdom Monera. So there was a sixth kingdom like Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Means Monera is replaced by the Archaebacteria and bacteria. But the question you will get for the name of the scientist, or you will get a question from this part, that what are the bases of this one. So Archaebacteria are separated from the Eubacteria on the basis of first thing, absence of peptidoglycan in cell wall. Dear students, cell wall is found made up of peptidoglycan, that is of amino. Peptidoglycan is made up of amino acid and sugar. What is the structure? How the structure is made up of, that we will study in prokaryotes or Monera. But this peptidoglycan is absent in case of the Eubacteria. Okay, but it present in Eubacteria and absent in Archaebacteria. And Archaebacteria have another component that is known as pseudomurin. Dear student, you should remember that peptidoglycan is also known as murin. Peptidoglycan is also known as murin, or it is also known as mucopeptide. But this murin or mucopeptide, if we say, that is particularly present, murin or mucopeptide is present particularly in Eubacteria, but pseudomurin is present in Archaebacteria. Another thing Archaebacteria have, that is a presence of branched chain lipid. They have a presence of branched chain lipids, and branched chain lipids, if we talk, they have a monolayer instead of phospholipid bilayer. They have monolayer instead of phospholipid bilayer in a membrane. Okay, so you know that in Eubacteria, there is a phospholipid bilayer. That is one of the important difference that you need to mark here. They have phospholipid bilayer, but Archaebacteria have monolayer. So that we need to remember, dear students, and that was the basis for the sixth kingdom classification. But later on, Calvus thought that this is a too much lengthy classification. I think six kingdoms are too much, like this Calvus thought. And later on, he clustered all this into three domains. Dear students, later on, Calvus proposed this three domain classification. Now, this three domain, which was introduced by Calvus, that are archaea, bacteria, means archaebacteria are placed in archaea, bacteria placed in bacteria, and in eukarya he kept all eukaryotic kingdom. So four eukaryotic kingdom were placed in this particular eukarya domain. And you know that four eukaryotic kingdom are kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia from the five kingdom. And this is based on the 16S rRNA sequence. See, rRNA is ribosomal RNA genes. Dear students, you focus this statement. It is based on the sequence of 16S R ribosomal RNA genes. Means not based on the types of RNA, but what RNA is synthesized from the DNA. You know that from DNA, this RNA getting synthesized. So they are going to talk that the genes which are present on DNA of 16S rRNA, based on that genes, this classification was done. And he believed that all originated from the common ancestor, that is progenote. And domain is a subcategory, as we have studied. This is placed above the kingdom. And here you can see, then this is the perfectly defined particular classification of three domain. Living beings are placed into archaea, archaebacteria, bacteria, and eukarya. You can see here which organisms are placed, and all this evolved from the progenose. So this is the idea of Wu's, that evolutionary relationship, evolutionally all organisms are related from the one organism. So I hope here, dear students, you are now clear with the interesting thing, that is what? A two kingdom, three kingdom, four kingdom, 5 kingdom, 6 kingdom, and 3 domain classification system. Okay. So after studying this, you have to see, after listening this, you have to go through the NCERT and mark the important points what I have made to mark you in NCERT. Now we will be dealing some of the MCQs, and first MCQ which we are going to deal, that is Aristotle classification is mainly based on. So first is morphological character, second is physiological character, third is secondary character, and fourth is all of the above. Dear students, we studied that Aristotle classified in first earliest classification system plants or into trees, herb, shrub, and animals into enema, and that is based on morphological character. So morphological character is the basis for Aristotle classification. Then apart from that, next question we are dealing, that is a two kingdom classification are proposed by, dear students, you know it very well, Carolus Linnaeus was the pioneer for this two kingdom classification, and whose name was Carl von Linnaeus, and he modified it into the Carolus Linnaeus. Then according to the two kingdom system classification, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra are placed under, dear students, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. Now you know that Spirogyra is also algae and Chlamydomonas is algae, and algae according to the two kingdom, there was only two kingdom, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia, and they were placed into algae of kingdom Plantae. Then R.H. Whitaker proposed which classification? So there are several options like multi-kingdom, phylogenetic, five kingdom, but you know that five kingdom was the most famous classification by R.H. Whitaker. Dear student, next we talk about animals were divided into two groups based on the presence or absence of red blood. Is what I told you, anema or enema. And based on the anema or enema, the classification was done by Aristotle, which was the earliest classification, first classification based on scientific basis. Then, dear students, we are going to deal with the next question. The following is not correct about two kingdom classification. What they want to ask, which is not correct, we have to select an incorrect statement. And first statement is, it failed to distinguish between eukaryote and prokaryote. Yes, it was a first limitation of him, two kingdom classification, so it is a correct one. They did not distinguish between plants and animals. They have distinguished plants between animals. Did not differentiate between autotroph and heterotroph. Yes, they was not able to differentiate between autotroph and heterotroph. And could not differentiate unicellular and multicellular organism. Yes, he was not able to differentiate unicellular organism, but yes, they have here it is written that did not distinguish, but they did distinguish plants and animals into two kingdoms, that is kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So it was the actually incorrect statement. We are going to talk about the next question, that is the only character that defined the whole plant kingdom into two kingdom classification is autotrophic nature, second heterotrophic nature, presence of cell wall, and presence of chloroplast. Dear student, I hope you remember that two kingdom classification is based on mainly presence or absence of cell wall. So that becomes the correct answer. Apart from that, next we are going to talk about autotrophs. And the question is, autotrophs are not found in. First option is Monera. You know Monera include bacteria, and bacteria are autotroph as well as heterotroph. Protista include autotroph, heterotroph both. Fungus are completely heterotrophic. Not a single fungus has ability to synthesize their own food. So that is the correct one. And you know that plant can synthesize their own food. So fungus are not autotroph, they cannot synthesize their own food. And next we are dealing with the next question, that fungus were placed in separate kingdom by Eichler, Whitaker, Linnaeus, and Haeckel. Dear students, as you know, I hope you know, in two kingdom, Plantae and Animalia was introduced. In three kingdom, Protista was introduced. In four kingdom, Monera was introduced. And in five kingdom, fungus was introduced as a separate kingdom. And you know that 5 kingdom is given by R.H. Whitaker. So that become the second become the correct answer. Okay, dear student. So I hope now you are clear with the criteria behind 2 kingdom, their limitation, same way with the 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom, 5 kingdom, 6 kingdom, and 3 domain classification. If you are clear with this, then we can move further and we can study the all particular 5 kingdom in detail. So in this chapter, in further classes, we will deal with kingdom Monera in separately, kingdom Protista, and kingdom Fungi separately. So till that, thank you all, and keep watching, keep reading, and keep focusing on NCERT. Thank you. Thanks a lot.